Hey everyone, so my name is Catherine for those that don't know me, and I have Ultra Health and Wellness. So be sure to follow on Instagram and on Facebook. Wanted to talk a little bit about I've been out of exercising for a couple of months due to a foot surgery, and before I ran a lot, I worked out a lot. However, being able to get back into exercise has made me thinking because before, exercise was something I did every day. And so to do it, it was second nature. It was something that was in my routine. I had a plan, I stuck to it. Then I had surgery and my routine changed, and I didn't exercise like I did, and I didn't run like I did. So now I'm able to get back into running, which is wonderful. But it also started making me think about those of us who are trying to get back into a routine post illness, post injury, or maybe you've just been out of a routine for a long period of time. You decided to go back to school, life happened, you had kids, and now you're like, I want to be able to start working out again, or I want to be able to work on a hobby again. And life is totally different than what it was. And how do I do that now? How do I get into a routine? So, anticipation is the worst. Because if you're like me, you're going to sit there and you're going to overanalyze. You're going to think about it. You're going to think about the perfect way to do it. And here's the thing, there's no perfect way to do it. We just got to get back into it. If you're also like me, like I mentioned just a few seconds ago, I'm a runner, and I get cocky and I'll feel like, oh, I'm feeling great. I'm going to go for 10 miles. And then I have an injury. So being able to slowly get back into it, slowly give ourselves that patience for it, and just map out something to do. Try 10 minutes and see how that does for you. Try 15 minutes and see how that does for you. And each time, like these little bits and pieces, you'll be able to build upon them. And you may be thinking, I don't have time to do this. Like 15 minutes is a lot of time. I'm really busy. I guarantee you spend more than 15 minutes on social media a day. I guarantee you. So if you can do that, or if you do TV for 15 minutes a day, you can find time to do things that you actually want to do. So that's going to bring you a better experience, a better positivity into your life. So I like to call it the 15-minute paradox, because we look at it and say 15 minutes for any type of self-care, whether it's walking in the backyard, reading a book, meditation, a mind puzzle, something that's going to let us recharge and kind of disconnect from the outer world. I get this a lot. People saying, I don't have 15 minutes. Just what I said just a few minutes ago. If we were only told that we were only going to get our phones for 15 minutes a day, or we could only watch TV for 15 minutes a day, we would have a meltdown worse than a 2-year-old coming off of a sugar high. We would be throwing tantrums. We would be saying 15 minutes is not enough. 15 minutes is a very little time. But when we look at it as something to do for ourselves, we think 15 minutes is too much time. So we need to put that back into perspective. And also, because we haven't done things in a while, and this is what I keep telling myself, is that, I'm going to use working out because this is where the thought came. But you can do this with wherever it may be, whatever routine you're trying to get back in your life. Maybe you're an artist and you're trying to get back into your crafts or your art, and you don't feel like you are as good enough as you were back when you were doing it. I've been out of running for a couple of months, and boy, do I feel out of shape. It's a very humbling experience. But remember that the more that we can do this, the more time that we're going to have to gain that little bit of footing. We will not get better if we're not trying to get better. We will not be able to just sit here and say, I wish, I wish, I wish. Life's not a birthday cake. You don't get a candle and blow it out and the wish comes true. We have to put forth the effort. And a lot of times when we're putting forth the effort, the thought and the anticipation is worse than actually doing it. We just gotta pull that Band-Aid off. We have to go out there. We have to do it. That's where these starting small steps really work good, is because we're not trying to say, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to run a 10K. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to walk a half a mile, run a half a mile, walk, run pattern until I build it back up. Those small steps will get us to our goal, faster than if we try to go full on and get out there, because we're going to end up frustrated. That's just what it is. And going back to sitting there and just thinking about it, that anticipation will kill us every single time, because our ego will start to screw with us, because that's what ego likes to do. So we just have to get out there. We have to just, as Nike says, just do it and find a routine, find a pattern that works for you. I'm always talking about patterns and routines with my clients, and everybody's routine looks different. Like mine and my husband's are similar in some ways, but we are two totally different people when it comes to certain things, and we find what works for ourselves. And if he's not a morning person to work out, and I have a really hard time working out in the evenings, but he doesn't, and that works for him. If I'm going to work out in the evening, I need to have my little buddies to go with me to class, because left to my own vices, I'm not going to get there usually on my own. Like I have to kind of give myself that nudge that I have to parent myself, which sucks, but I have found as being an adult, I have to parent myself even past the time that I thought that I wouldn't need parenting. And we just got to do it. So hit me up on Instagram and Facebook. Any questions, feel free. Like I said, it's Ultra Health and Wellness, all one word, all spelled out. Also, be sure to subscribe. And also, if you have any questions, feel free to email them to me at oneultracoach@gmail.com. That's like the number 1, ultracoach@gmail.com. Make sure to put question in the subject line so I don't think it's just spam. All right. Thanks so much. See you next time. God bless.